Yeah, he have potential. He have a lot of skills. He have a lot of potential to be one of the biggest star in boxing.
Do you think it's like a mental thing when you have all that pressure and you go in there and you get like, some would say you got like embarrassed kind of?
It's hard. It's obviously it's hard. But,
I mean, that was a big fight for him to take too. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess they could have both dodged
Do you
that.
think
for a
that
while.
it was too early to take that fight, or do you think it was
No.
smart?
What I think he need to do is take that loss and learn from that loss.
He's young. He's still growing.
Right.
He's still learning.
Now.
There's no different from in the past. You'll see, Ryan. I mean, in the past, I've said certain things. Not really. You know, young fighters would take it the wrong way when you say certain things sometimes.
Right.
Even like a while back when it's called divide and conquer. When I talked about like YouTube, I said, listen,
I don't cry about it.
I'm saying if that was his hustle, if he got a lot of followers from wherever he got them from, that's his hustle.
Right.
And he's supposed to say, yo, you can't knock my hustle no matter where I got him from.
Right.
I wish things would just be held accountable and then just held by the rules just so there's a standard. I'm not hating on the fight because I actually think Ryan Garcia knocks out Barrios. I think Barrios is horrible as a champion, maybe the worst champion I've ever seen in my life.
Boxing experts are anticipating a thrilling showdown between Ryan Garcia and Mario Barrios. Most believe it will be a closely contested battle, with the result potentially decided in the later rounds, keeping fans locked in until the final bell.
What are we expecting from Ryan and Barrios? You know, you beat Ryan recently. Dan was very outspoken about how he looked bad in that fight. What kind of Ryan do we expect coming into that fight versus Mario Barrios?
I don't know. What are you guys all expecting?
You know, there's something that keeps on saying, and I kind of agree to it, that we're uncertain what kind of Ryan we're going to get, right? Like what kind of, how's he going to see him come into the fight? Conor Ben said that. I've said that we don't know what to expect, what kind of Ryan. If we get a Ryan, obviously focused and training, he could be a good fight versus Barrios. So what do you think?
I don't know what I think. You know, like I said,
Gotta give me something, Rolly.
I tell you, for all we know, he might still have PTSD from me.
Think so?
Yeah.
Would you come out on a stream with him? Because now he's streaming. Would you be on a stream with Ryan?
Oh, sounds like the bank account's running dry.
Garcia possesses incredible hand speed, easily ranking among the quickest in boxing today. His left hook, in particular, is a true knockout weapon, capable of ending fights in an instant.
Ryan wins, though. Like, what will be the reason? Like, would you say speed, power, timing, or IQ?
I think speed, power. Ryan's a great fighter when he seems to be all together. But in all honesty, he shouldn't be fighting for a world title again. He just lost, and now he's fighting for a world title.
So would you say that, so do you like this fight for Ryan right now? Yes or no? You basically just...
I mean, if I was on his team, yeah, I would love it. But if I'm not on his team, I mean, I'm just being honest. He should not be fighting for a world title. And he's just coming off a loss. But the reality is what I said before. Social media is the reason why. Because Mario Barrios, even though he's a champion, he needs Ryan Garcia to get a big payday.
Greg Hackett has publicly raised doubts about Ryan Garcia's readiness for the fight against Mario Barrios, suggesting that Garcia's focus and preparation might not be where they need to be. He described the matchup as a true 50-50 contest, adding that Garcia will need more than just his well-known left hook to secure the win. Hackett also pointed to concerns about Garcia's discipline and overall commitment heading into the bout.
Yeah, I think Ryan and Barrios is actually a good fight because when have we seen Ryan in the ring with somebody his height? You know what I'm saying? So I think we're looking at a real boxing match. Could he overwhelm Barrios? Yeah, but where is he mentally? Ryan Garcia has been spending time with YouTubers and streamers and like that. He ain't really been training. So what type of Ryan are we getting? I mean, are we gonna get the front runner Ryan who go in there and try his best for 2-3 rounds and then bullshit for the rest of the fight? Or is we gonna get a focused Ryan that's really trying to go in there and do damage? Barrios at the same time, he questions himself at times and I think that's his biggest downfall. He get in that ring and sometimes he questions his own abilities. So therefore, that could either make for a great fight or it could be a bullshit fight.
Trainer Robert Garcia believes this matchup suits Ryan Garcia well and feels his son has the talent, strength, and speed needed to capture a world title against Mario Barrios. However, he also honestly mentioned some worries about Ryan's preparation and the overall training setup heading into the fight.
It's a good matchup for Ryan. I think Ryan has the skills, the power, the speed to actually go and become champion, but there's a few things that I see that might not be in his favor. And look, Barrios is dedicated. I know him. He's actually a good friend, a good person. And they chose him because they think Ryan has everything it takes to become champion, to become the world champion, because they're already planning on huge fights with Devin Haney and whatever out there for Ryan.
He mentioned that Ryan stepping away from experienced high-level trainers like Eddie Reynoso, Joe Goosen, and Derek James to work with his father might put him at a disadvantage. Even so, he still believes the matchup is a smart move for Ryan's career.
But the fact that Ryan, has gone through 3 top trainers that would have done a great job, Eddie Reynoso, Joe Goosen, and Derek James.
Correct.
And he's not training with neither of them. He's training with his dad, which I'm not saying the dad is not, the dad brought him through the amateurs, but when he left his dad or went to seek a different trainer, before he came back to that, he went through 3 different trainers.
Wow.
That means all 3 are not good enough to, they're all 3
Here's the
best in the
Here's
world.
the question. Did Ryan Garcia ever allow those trainers to be the boss?
That's why he's back with his dad, because he's the boss. That's why.
Yeah.
Look, Joe Goosen, I know Joe Goosen. My brother used to train with him. He's not gonna just let you get away with stuff like that. Derek James shouldn't either. Eddie Reynoso doesn't need. He's made so much money with Canelo that if you want to come to me, it's gonna be under my rules. And if that didn't work, then Ryan's back. So that's I give that big advantage to Barrios to even pull that.
Ryan Garcia's coaching background is also brought into focus, pointing out that he once trained under Joe Goosen before moving between different coaches, including his father. Now, with Goosen working in Mario Barrios' corner, the fight takes on a more personal edge, since he's already familiar with Garcia's strengths, flaws, and overall approach.
This is an interesting dynamic in this fight. Ryan Garcia, when he was coming up through the amateurs, it was mostly him and his dad going to tournaments and Ryan learning there. But when he got to Los Angeles, he got to work with Joe Goosen at 10 Goose Gym. And this was around, I think, the time where Ryan was 17 years old, and Joe ended up being his coach for a while. Ryan ended up leaving, going to work with Canelo, then going to work with Derek James, and then coming back to Joe for a little bit. And I think now he's just trained by his dad for this fight. So there's been a lot of back and forth for this fight, because now Joe Goosen is training Mario Barrios, who previously had worked with Bob Santos for the last couple of fights. But the dynamic being Joe Goosen knows everything probably there is to know about Ryan Garcia from training him for so long. Garcia knows everything there is to know about Joe, or at least how Joe coaches, what he's going to try to look to implement with Barrios toward Ryan Garcia. It's both guys knowing their biggest secrets, they're knowing their greatest weapons and how to prepare for each. It's going to be a bit of a chess.
At the press conference, that tension became noticeable through a lighthearted yet sharp back and forth between Garcia and Goosen. The exchange added extra motivation for Ryan while also bringing more drama and storyline intrigue to the buildup of the fight.
I first found out that Joe was going to go ahead and train Mario Barrios. I was taken back. I'm not going to lie. I was thinking, well, what the heck's going on here? Why would a coach that trained my son all of a sudden turn around and train somebody else to go against my son? He told me a while back that he's done this in the past. He would train someone, then later on he would go against them. Again, I think it's not right, but maybe it's something he has to prove, or it's just an ego thing. But I also remember that he told me specifically that when Ryan is 100%, no one can beat him. And I'm going to tell you this right now. Ryan is 100%.
Chris Algieri points out that boxing often prioritizes star power over pure merit, with selective matchmaking, sometimes giving popular fighters like Ryan Garcia opportunities at titles even after recent setbacks. He also mentions that Mario Barrios can be seen as more vulnerable in the welterweight division, which makes him a more appealing opponent for high-profile fights.
You look at it, Chris, this idea that selective matchmaking here, that you want an opportunity at 147 pounds. 147 is not the prince of titles like it once was. This idea that Barrios, to Paulie's point, might be the most vulnerable person in the mix. This idea that obviously he's targeting a shot at 147. What do you think of it?
Well, I mean, everything the champ said is absolutely right. In terms of this fight and it being made, it's already a black eye on boxing. You got a guy who's coming off a loss. You got a guy who hasn't won a fight at 147. Not to mention, and we didn't mention this yet, he's got a drug scandal in the middle of that. So it's not even that he's just hasn't been winning and has proved himself at this level. He's literally cheated to get here and been caught and was suspended for it. But this is boxing, like the champ said, and it's unfortunate that we reward people who fail up. And just because they're popular, just because they put butts in seats, and Ryan does do that. And listen, I know, champ, you think that Ryan is going to knock Barrios out? He might, but he also might fumble the bag again, and he might pull a rollies and go out there and throw 7 punches around and end up losing to a guy like Barrios.
Paulie Malignaggi playfully criticizes Mario Barrios for sometimes being too inactive in the ring, noting that he often throws very few punches during his fights. He jokes that if Barrios and Ryan Garcia both held back and barely let their hands go, the bout could end in yet another draw, continuing the trend seen in some of Barrios' previous matches.
Knock him out? For sure. I think I can knock any man out. I don't give a fuck if he's 400 pounds, fucking 100 pounds. They all could get it. Any weight class.
Ryan, did you seek out Barrios? Did he come to you?
Man, it just came to me, man. Like I said, I try to let God move all my decisions, and I just felt like that was the right move. I had another offer at the time for more money, and I was like, nah, I'm cool. Going for Mario.
Ryan, do you have in mind fight against Manny Pacquiao or people Cruz?
Hey, we're always open to those opportunities too. It would be an honor to get that going, but we're not too focused on that right now. But yes, would love that opportunity.
Ryan, what do you think about Mario's fight with Pac-Man?
I think that he's getting a little worn down now. I think Mario, what I mean by that, I think that he's been took in some good punches, took in a couple too many good shots. I think he slowed down a little.
Will Ryan Garcia's speed and explosive power be enough to overcome Mario Barrios, or will Barrios' size and constant pressure make the difference? Share your predictions in the comments below.